Hi, and welcome to another Ask Us Anything English. So this Friday, I have both kiddies with me. So I am just got the baby sleeping on me, so we're working with it. The toddler might come and say hello when she's finished her yogurt because she's extremely curious. Anyway, here we are on another Friday for Ask Us Anything Live with Intrepid English. And today I want to talk about the 10 different ways to say to walk. So English is an extremely varied and beautiful language, in my opinion. And to walk is probably one of the first verbs you learned. But did you know you can actually use different words, different verbs to express how to walk in different ways? So it depends on your speed, it depends on how you're feeling, and it also depends on your situation. So for example, if you are feeling happy, we don't say you walked happily. It's much better English to say you skipped with joy. So to skip is to walk and hop at the same time. I'm not going to give an example because that might be a bit too much for her. But I am going to give you 10 different verbs to how to walk differently in English. And it really does improve your English so much. So here we go. The first one is to shuffle. So what do I mean by to shuffle? So to shuffle means to move your feet in very short movements without lifting them properly. Okay, let me explain. I hope you can see. So to shuffle, you walk further back. Yeah, we'll walk here. We'll walk towards you shuffling. Okay, so we're moving our feet very slowly. Okay, very short movements. We don't even lift our feet off the floor. That is to shuffle. So for example, he didn't want to go to class, so he shuffled along the corridor, taking as much time as possible. So when you should, or the elderly gentleman shuffled along the street to the shops. So again, it's when you have either difficulty walking or you don't want to go somewhere. The next one is to stagger, and we have a little guest joining us after her yogurt. And that is to not walk in a straight line. So you put one foot in front of the other, but it's to wobble on either side. So it's normally when maybe someone has drunk too much alcohol, or they're absolutely exhausted. So it's when you really can't walk properly because you are not in your full capacity. So here's to stagger. Again, let's hope we don't wake up the baby. So okay, so it's not to walk properly. The next one is to limp. Okay, so this is when you have a sore leg, either from an injury or, basically your leg hurts you and you cannot use one leg correctly. So one leg is working, but the other is not. So for example, he had an accident on his motorbike and he had to limp home. So I'll do it this way because you can even see it from behind. Okay, so his leg not working. Okay, so this is the limp. One leg working, the other leg not. Okay, so it's that is to limp. Okay, the next word is to waddle. So when I was pregnant, I probably waddled quite a bit. It's when you waddle like a duck. Okay, so ducks, when they're on land, they waddle. And if someone has maybe a bit too much weight on them, or if they're pregnant because they've got another human in them, they waddle. Okay, so it's to sway from side to side. So Bob's uncle was extremely overweight. He waddled rather than walked. So he can even pretend baby is back in meal. She has grown quite a bit since then, 6 months on. But to waddle. Okay. You've got so much weight on you. You don't walk, you waddle like a duck. Okay, the next verb is to meander. Okay, so to meander along, this means to walk without any real direction. You're just meandering along. And it's a beautiful word, really. We meandered aimlessly for hours through the gorgeous old town of Rome. Okay, that was one of my best trips to Rome, was we just meandered around the old town. It was beautiful. We can also to stroll. It's very similar to meander. It's more leisurely. Well, it's like meander, it's very leisurely. And usually when there is no definite plan or direction in the walk, we're just strolling. Yes, Emily, you can see your face. That cheeky little monkey. The next one is to hike. So to hike is it's a very sporty walk. It's a very determined walk. It's a walk where you're going up mountains or hello, Emily. Yeah, you want to maximize the benefits of walking. So the arms swing in sequence with your legs, and it is recommended if you want to lose some extra weight. You don't step on, baby. So, for example, it's in the countryside and in the hills, and it's a very determined hike. So I went on a hiking holiday last year in the Alps. It was very tiring, but extremely enjoyable. And this is very similar to, then we have, so that's in the countryside to hike up mountains, but another form of exercise is to power walk. And again, we're using the arms with the legs. And to power walk, I'm going to try and show you, and hopefully Emily does not take up the whole screen. Okay, so if Emily, come and show how we power walk. Power walk. We power walk. It's very fast, it's determined, and the arms are moving. You may see people doing a lot of power walking when they want to get their exercise. Okay, that's not going to be possible, Emily. Okay, the next one, and she's back again. The next one is to wander. Very similar to stroll and to meander. It's when you just drifting around, just enjoying a walk, to wander, no particular purpose, just enjoying it. So we wandered around the shops in the station until we caught our train. Okay, and you may have heard the famous poem by Wordsworth, the English poet William Wordsworth, I wandered lonely as a cloud. It's a beautiful poem. I recommend having a read. The last one is to march. So this is like power walking, except it's more official. So it's the soldier's walk. So it's when they march, and it's very structured and ordered and uniformed. But obviously normal people can also march. So for example, my father marched along with us, his children, trailing behind. It was just, he always walked that way. He always marched. It was very, very determined and very organized. So those are my 10 verbs for how to express different ways to walk in English. So my challenge to you is not only to now act out at home these verbs, okay, so you can see the difference, but also can you think of some examples with them? And I would love you to write them in the comments. And for now, let us say happy weekend, have a great Friday, and we all say bye-bye. Say bye-bye, Emily.